from slouch.
Casa. Alright. Might be the last review video of the year. This could be it. It's gonna be a crazy one. So, a couple things real quick just about test strategy. Remember what we talked about? My gosh. Remember what we talked about? Make sure you highlight the question so you can see what what it's asking you. So use your highlighter. You have one. Use it. Okay. So make sure you highlight the question so you know what the question is. Next up,
what he said.
Make sure you read all the answers.
So what he said.
Shane, let me talk for a minute. Y'all can do some silly stuff in a minute. Make sure you read all the answers. Even if you think A is the absolute best answer, make sure you read through all of them so that you find the best answer. You got to be quiet, okay?
Yeah.
Oh, remember the other thing I talked about? Go through the test one time, answer all the easy ones, the ones you 100% know first, and then go back a second time and go through all the tricky ones. Okay, stop. You need to get out of here. If you're gonna be like that. So we're gonna go through just some general things real quick. Obviously in one video we can't cover everything, but we'll start with biomolecules. So if you recall. We've got monomers. Okay, monomers are the building blocks.
My boy. Ow.
If y'all can't be quiet, y'all got to get out of here. Okay, we've got to cover a few things, and like I said, then y'all can be silly. So the biomolecules, remember, monomers are the building blocks, and then polymers are what the building blocks build. So an enzyme is a polymer of a protein. Amino acids are the building blocks of proteins. You've got monosaccharides that build the carbohydrates. Those are the ring structured looking things. Lipids, are your fats. Fatty acids build lipids, so those are the building blocks. Nucleotides, that's nucleic acids. Trying to think. Remember, lipids obviously store fat. And they're good with cell membrane, so make sure you understand that they make up a lot of the cell membrane. Proteins are also embedded in the cell membrane as those protein channels. So that's the quick biomolecule rundown. Let's go over to cell cycle. With cell cycle, don't forget, the cell cycle has three things. You've got interphase, which is the kind of the growth and development stage. Synthesis is part of that as well. Okay. Replication happens. DNA replication happens in the synthesis phase during interphase. And then after interphase comes mitosis, and that consists of the prophase, metaphase, anaphase, and telophase. And then remember mitosis, the end result of mitosis is two identical daughter cells. The end result of meiosis is four genetically different gametes. So remember, the fancy word for body cells is somatic. Fancy word for sex cells is gametes. So don't forget about that. Prokaryotes and eukaryotes, just remember pro means no. Pro means no nucleus. Eukaryotes have a nucleus. Eukaryotes, you have a nucleus in your cells. So make sure you remember that part of it. Taxonomy, remember kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species. And the higher up on that taxonomic scale, the broader it is. So kingdom would have,
You're awesome, Jesus.
They can't stop themselves tonight. I guess they're excited for the last video. So anyway, kingdom is the most broad. So insects and elephants would be in the same kingdom. Then it goes, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species, and as you get down to species, it gets to be the most specific. So if you get a question on, which level would fit the most organisms, you want to look for the one that's highest up on that taxonomic scale. Other things, the only the only prokaryotic organisms that there are the two bacteria categories. So I know I'm kind of going back and forth here, but I just saw something that reminded me of that. So remember, archaebacteria and eubacteria are your only prokaryotic organisms. Everything else would be a eukaryote. Photosynthesis, don't forget photosynthesis. And cellular respiration, photosynthesis is obviously only with plants, and that happens in the chloroplast, and that makes glucose for the plants. Cellular respiration happens in all living things, and that is going to be how we get cellular energy, how we take the food we take in and carbohydrates and break it down into glucose, and then we use that to make ATP. So one more time, the formula for photosynthesis would be CO2, so carbon dioxide, plus water, plus H2O, gives you or yields oxygen, and then glucose, so C6H12O6. That was photosynthesis. Cellular respiration,
Yes, guys.
Again, it needs oxygen, would be C6H12O6, glucose, plus oxygen, yields or gives you carbon dioxide, water, and then that ATP. Remember, we get a lot more ATP if we have oxygen readily available. If we don't have oxygen available, then we do that fermentation process, and that's where we get some ATP, but not very much. Ecology, we just covered that, so hopefully we recall stuff about food webs and food chains and pyramids. Just remember the whole energy, the 10% rule, how we go, only 10% of 10% of energy is passed on at each trophic level, so don't forget about that. Other things with ecology, succession. Remember, primary succession is when there's no soil left on the ground. Secondary succession is when there is some soil left. Other things, evolution type stuff. Just remember that species evolve, populations evolve, individuals can't evolve. So it takes a long, long time, but for things to change, it's that idea of natural selection. So things that are born with an adaptation that's favorable, favorable adaptation, that can be passed on to offspring that'll help them survive in their environment. That can turn into a adaptation that goes on, and then eventually the species could evolve into a new species. So trying to think, obviously again I can't cover every single little point, just trying to give you some general things to think about or for you to remember and go look back at your notes. But bottom line, like I've said all year long, you're all going to do fine. I have every bit of faith in everybody. Remember our deal, we're looking for obviously 100% passing rate, and then if 50% get commended, we'll find a little pink dye or pink paint or something for the old bearded strouch for the last week of school. So anyway, this was a very fun, interesting video. Hope you were able to hear anything on it, and we will see some of you all tomorrow. I'll try and stop by at some of the testing rooms and wish you all good luck before we get going, and I just hope y'all get a good night's sleep, and we'll see y'all tomorrow.
Bye. Peace out. Bow, 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 bow.